Hello everyone, today in this video we will talk about second part of chapter number 2, Lost Spring, which describes here the miserable life of bangle makers of town in Firozabad. The poor bangle makers have been living for generations in the dingy town, and elders have learned to live with their lot, but the younger generation, they want to live their life differently. They have some other dreams too. So here in this chapter, Lost Spring, we are discussing today story number 2 of a boy whose name is Mukesh, right? And he belongs from a bangle making family. As we have discussed this part number 1 of the story, which is where we read about the life of a rag picker whose name was Sahib-e-Alam. So we found that the condition was very poor, right? So he was not even getting the proper food and the proper clothes to wear, right? That's why he is doing this job of rag picking. So here we will talk about Mukesh, who is living in the town of Firozabad. So let's talk about the tone, the theme of the poem, that is the poverty and tradition here too. Okay, so the authoress Anis Jung, she has highlighted here the poverty and the tradition which torture the lives of the poor children, right? Second one is the miserable life of the bangle makers in the town of Firozabad, and they are exploited. That particular group of bangle makers, they are exploited by all other sections of the society. And the younger generation does have some dreams of their own. They want to get out of their family's tradition and live to a better life. Then if we will talk about the characters of the story, so the characters of the story are Anis Jung and Mukesh, okay, because they are the main characters here. When we talk about Mukesh, Mukesh belongs to a family of bangle makers. He doesn't want to be he doesn't want to be continue with his family work, that is what? Bangle making. Family is in bangle making for generations, and they work in dark rooms, the dingy cells, okay. Mukesh is dreaming of becoming a motor mechanic, seems to be determined and prepared to go to a garage and learn his work, right? So this is what the main you can say the theme of the second story. So let's study the gist of the chapter through a video which I am attaching with this, and there we will read it with the help of slides. Students, let's see some important notes of the chapter. So when we talk about the main character of the story, Mukesh, he is a boy who wants to be a motor mechanic. So once a writer, or you can say Anis Jung, once meets this boy named Mukesh, and he lives in Firozabad and belongs to a family of bangle makers. Now let's talk about Mukesh's dream. Mukesh says that he does not want to go into the family profession. He decided to become a motor mechanic. And let's talk about the important things which we will study here in this chapter, that every other family in Firozabad is engaged in making bangles, and all kinds of bangles are made in Firozabad, that is having a big industry of bangle making in entire India. About 20,000 children work in the glass furnaces. Furnaces means bhattiyan of Firozabad. They have to work in very unhealthy conditions. Children work illegally in the glass furnaces, and that is not very good for the health also. Mukesh offers to take the writer to his home, right, because he is very overwhelmed that they have got a new house. Now Mukesh offers to take Anis Jung to his home, and he proudly says that his house is being rebuilt, okay. Mostly bangle makers end up losing their eyesight due to the dust from polishing the glass, because this is very difficult task. You have to bald the bangles also, and the glass powder that is being used for this bangle making, so that polishing and all that, so many very you can say harsh work is that. Or they suffer from the different skin problems due to high temperatures, because in the furnaces the temperature remain too high. They walked through smelly lanes that are choked with garbage. Now this is the point when you will study that Anees Jung went, she was agreed to go with Mukesh to his house. So on the way she looked, she looked smelly lanes and the drainage, and there was no proper drainage. Everywhere it is garbage, everything was whatever the drainage are there, that was choked with garbage. When the writer goes there, she finds that it is a half built shack, which Mukesh was saying that newly built house or rebuilt house it was. So inside there are everywhere signs of poverty, but Mukesh was very happy, right? Food was being cooked on a stove. By Adan stove was that, it was chula. So there by a young woman, and that young woman was Mukesh's eldest brother's wife. When Mukesh's father enters, she gently brings the veil closer to her face. Veil means what? Ghungat, right? This is because actually in the culture of India, right? So that she also does that, as it is the custom over there. Mukesh's father has worked hard all his life. Still, he has been unable to renovate his house or send his two sons to school. He worked a lot. Earlier, he was a tailor, right? And now he has shifted his work, he has shifted his profession to that tailor to bangle maker. But he struggled in his life, and he is unable to reconstruct or to renovate his house, and he was unable to send his two sons to school. He was very poor actually. So what he manages to teach them the art of bangle making, and because that is the you can say the inheritant profession, right? Now Mukesh's grandmother believes in destiny. When Anees Jung talked to her, she found that she is saying that she has seen her husband going blind, means the grandfather of Mukesh. She says that they were born in the caste of bangle makers and have seen nothing but bangles in their lives. So they have to do this work. Boys and the girls in all such families have to work with their fathers and mothers. They have to work in the dark hutments, okay, without light. Their eyes are more adjusted to the dark than to light outside. और जब भी वो बाहर आते हैं हवा में, तो खुली उसमें, तो लाइट में, तो उनकी आँखें जो है खराब हो जाती हैं. Thus they lose their eyesight even before they become adults. Writer sees a girl named Savita in another hutment, and she is sitting with an elderly woman and soldering the piece of glasses. Okay, she does not know that the bangles she is making are symbols of an Indian woman. So soldering means to stitch, to do that balding work. Now she doesn't know that the bangles she is making are the symbols of Indian women's suhag, and the old lady who is sitting next to her has lost her eyes, but still has bangle on her wrist, right? She says that she has not enjoyed even one full meal all her life, and the poor bangle makers know nothing except making bangles. So writer says that the cry of poverty rings in every corner of every home of Firozabad, and these poor people are exploited by shahukars, policemen, middlemen, bureaucrats and politicians. So these people are responsible for this condition of the bangle makers, right? They have to accept their poverty and exploitation and as something natural. Writer sees the daring spirit and attitude in Mukesh. But Mukesh has decided to fulfill his dreams one day, and he wants to become his own master and dreams to be a motor mechanic. So, this was all about the chapter, this story number 2 of Mukesh, and the main name of the chapter is Lost Spring, which is written by Anish Jung. So, dear kids, I hope you got the gist of the chapter. In our next video, we will meet with the explanation part. Till then, please make notes of this in your notebook. Thank you very much.